Today we're talking about promoting live music events. How are you going to get people into your gig? Welcome back to Pro Tips for Independent Bands, the show where I, Liam Taylor, talk to you about the realities of getting ahead in the music industry. In last month's episode of Pro Tips for Independent Bands, we spoke about the logistics of organising a live music event, but today we're talking about marketing that event and actually getting people to come into the venue and watch some music. So whether you want to be a promoter or you're in a band who wants to help out their promoters, or you just want to know a little bit more about what a promoter actually does, this is the video for you. So let's get started. There are three basic kinds of marketing that you can do. Let's start with physical promotion, which is flyers, posters, that kind of thing. And let's start at the very beginning. This is the information that needs to be present on your posters and flyers. You will need to include the date of your event and the time that the doors are opening or the time that the first band is going on stage. You will need to include the venue, the place that the event is happening at, possibly with a street address of the venue as well. You'll need to include the entry price, whether or not the event is age restricted. Obviously, you'll need to include the names of the acts that are performing, and ideally some way of getting more information should a person need it. Wherever you're getting your flyers printed, whether it's a website or an actual store, they will usually have some kind of template available. Always use a template, otherwise your flyers are almost guaranteed to go wrong. Consider adding something like a £1 off or $1 off with this flyer deal, because that means that a person is more likely to grab a flyer and put it in their pocket just in case they fancy going to the gig later because they know they can get money off. And then that means they're more likely to stumble across the flyer in their pocket at some random time and remember about your gig. And that sounds like the tiniest of victories, I know, but trust me, it can be worth it. Be sure to drop some flyers or posters off at the venue that your event is taking place at. Sometimes pubs are usually cool with taking flyers as well, especially if they don't run their own live music events. A lot of newsagents or supermarkets or fast food places are pretty happy to take a small pile of flyers as well, or stick a poster up on the wall if you're lucky. Handing out flyers to people in the street is hard and really disheartening. You should absolutely give it a go, but just don't expect that to be 100% of your marketing done. I think the core message of this video is really to try every kind of marketing, because you never know what will work for a specific venue or style of event or band. You never know. Try everything. Anyway, street team style promotion is really hard and the payoff can be tiny. So if you're going to try it, which I suggest you do try it, I don't know, man, maybe wear like a giant furry panda costume or something to try and get people to come to you. Marketing type number 2, social media. Oh boy, this is the one that people are gonna think is all you do, but if you do it well, that doesn't matter. Facebook event pages. You should absolutely make a Facebook event page for your gig. And if you can use the flyer artwork on the banner or the display picture or whatever, you should absolutely do that to make it as visually appealing as possible. And then you ask the venue and the bands and just anyone you can to invite people to that event and make posts about it, and just generally make as much noise as they possibly can about the event page on their social media channels. And don't take any of that "you're the promoter so you do the promotion" crap. The band has the most direct access to their fans, and they should be making the most of that and be positive about getting people in to watch them play live. Make them post about the event. Facebook is changing all the time, so it's important to try and keep up with that to make sure that the way you promote your events is still relevant and still working. For example, there used to be a way to select a button and select all of your friends to invite to a gig. You can't do that anymore as far as I know, but who knows if that'll change in like a week's time or something. You can announce bands individually over Twitter or Facebook or whatever else, and you can make a mini event out of those announcements. For example, you tell people, we're going to announce our headliner at 5 PM on Thursday, make sure you're online for that announcement. Remember that you can schedule posts on Facebook, so you don't actually have to sit at your computer timing every post precisely for when your fan base is online. You can just schedule them all in one go and then not have to worry about it at all. There are ways to schedule posts on Instagram and Twitter, but it usually requires some kind of third-party app like Buffer or Hootsuite. Scheduling posts is a great way to make sure that you don't lose momentum when promoting your event. We've mentioned this in other videos already, but social media networks don't like you talking about other social media networks. So for example, if you have a video to promote, you should upload it to Facebook and talk about it on Facebook. Don't post a YouTube link to Facebook because Facebook won't let people see that YouTube link. That was probably really confusing and I'm sorry. You are absolutely much better off creating individual posts on the individual networks you want to use. You can create or repurpose memes. This sounds tacky because it is tacky. Here are some examples of the kind of thing you could do. Now I'm certain that there are styles of music this will not be appropriate for, and there are probably some bands who would not appreciate this kind of marketing. I'm going to leave that down to your own professional judgment. Post pictures and videos of the bands. Same as the point above, social media is a visual medium, so using blocks of text ain't always going to work. You could perhaps focus on a single band for a week or several days in the run-up to your event, and use that week to make just lots of noise about that one band. If you think about it, trying to promote a live music event without actually posting any music would be dumb and pointless. And again, with the ability to schedule posts, it's now so easy to do that. You've only got to focus on it for like half a day and then your job's done. You could also use press clippings or quotes from the bands themselves, just anything to remind people why they need to give a damn about the bands you've booked. Don't ever be afraid to remind bands that they need to be making social media posts or telling people about the gigs they're playing. Again, sure, you're the promoter, but they're the bands and they have the most direct access to the people who enjoy their music. Everyone has a stake in the event going well, not just you. Lastly, we're going to talk about word of mouth promotion, which includes texting, mailing lists, and talking to creepy dudes down the pub. Never ever underestimate the humble mailing list. Whether you're a promoter or a band or anything within a creative industry, having a mailing list gives you direct access to the people who actually care about what you do, to the point that they opt in to hearing more about it. Always embed a sign-up list on whatever website you're using, and always have a physical sign-up sheet at whatever gigs you are involved in. If you have phone numbers, you can always text people on the day of a gig to remind them that they should absolutely come to your gig. The same goes for WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and whatever apps kids are using. I'm not up to date. You could always consider having a theme to your live music event, so people get a discounted entry if they turn up in fancy dress. Especially if the event coincides with Halloween, or someone's birthday, or Flag Day, or whatever Thanksgiving is. Lastly, consider throwing some kind of competition, so everyone that gets into the event gets a raffle ticket, maybe they can buy extra raffle tickets, and then see if some of the bands want to throw in some CDs or merch as a big box of giveaway goodies. Or maybe you literally just give them a $5. Up to you. That was Pro Tips for Independent Bands and our look at promoting live music events. I hope you have found this useful, because you should have, and please feel free to leave any comments in the comments section below, and I will see you whenever next time is. Toodaloo. Thanks again for hanging out and watching Pro Tips for Independent Bands. This is actually the last in this particular run of Pro Tips, but we're going to return to Series 2 some point in the near future. Check out what we put on the channel in about a month's time. Remember to subscribe if you want to hit the little bell icon to get updates when we do launch a new video. That would be very cool. What else? Leave a comment if you have any questions. Like the button that is the like button. You know what I mean. Just press the buttons and I'll see you later. Goodbye.